Alright, we're moving on to the next game here. We're going to play a couple games after building the deck. So again, the process of building the deck, figuring out the core, I'm going to have the video in the description. I'm also going to have the video of game 1 in the description. And now we're moving over to game 2. We're going to play a couple games here with the new build that we have. Well, it's not really a new build, it's the core. And kind of see how the deck is running. We're kind of getting a feel for it right now. And then eventually, you know, as we get more comfortable with the deck, as we get better, as we play different decks and figure out, we can start tweaking it and making some changes to it. These Q games have been taking a little bit longer than usual. I wonder what's going on. Alright, so we won the die roll. That is good for us. No blood moons, please. Okay, so this is good. This can get our Triome. We also have... Okay, so we're going to keep this. Decisions. Do we go for the second turn Draco, or do we go with the Ragavan? Do we make them have it? I think we make them have it, right? So I'm going to go with the Flooded Strand. Reason being is that the best fetch land in the deck is Wooded Foothills, so I try to use those last. But if we knew we were playing against a Blood Moon deck, then I would go with the Wooded Foothills first, because the Flooded Strand can get me a Plains. So those are just little key things to keep in mind. Okay, Noble Hierarch, that's not bad. So we're going to bolt this Hierarch. We're going to go ahead and just get this here. Bolt the Hierarch. It would be very, very nice if we had a Stubborn Denial here. But I guess this closes out the game pretty quickly. Okay, Swamp. This one of those Yawgmoth decks. Those I've played in the past, those seem to be a pretty hard matchup. If they get going. But we'll see, because we have... Oh, Infect. Okay. Alright. So we drew something good. Do we just binding it now? Is that going to go through? Yep, that's good for us. And I think here we're going to play the Draco, and then we're going to also Tribal Flames. We're going to try to end this game as quick as possible. We'll grab Sacred? Yeah, Sacred Foundry. One of the things I'm really liking about this Domain Zoo deck is that although it's an aggressive creature style deck, because you have counter magic, because of Leyline Binding, which is an amazing card in this deck, I mean, you have so much utility and so much play to this deck. You know, normally you're just attacking, and you know, you get easily blown out, but this deck has so much utility. I love it. and the creatures are massive, and you get them out so early where it allows you to close the games out quick. Protection from red and white. Okay. That's fine. So we're going to pretty much end the game here. Well, not pretty much, we are. Unless there's some surprises. Alright, so we're playing against Infect, so what can we bring in against that? I think this seems slow though, right? I'm not too sure. I feel like our main deck is good enough. I'm not 100% sure if we bring anything in. Everything in here seems really good. If you guys could think maybe what I'm supposed to take out or put in, comment at the bottom. Let me know, because I'm not sure. Again, we just started playing this deck, you know. But the main deck seems very solid. I mean, you have answers to pretty much almost anything. Leyline Binding, man, this card is insane. Especially in this deck. Because you get rewarded so huge for having Domain, right? I mean, you already want to have Domain because of Kavu and Scion of Draco and Tribal Flame. But Leyline Binding just puts this deck over the top. Okay, no lands. That's an easy mulligan. One lander, we cannot risk that with an Infect deck. They're going to go very fast. This is better. I'm going to put away this and Ragavan. Ragavan is good, but because they have a lot of cheap creatures, I don't see it connecting. Okay, Thoughtseize. Another thing I like about this Domain Zoo deck is that, unlike traditional aggro decks, when you mulligan to 5, you pretty much lose, right? Like, there's very slim chance of you making a comeback. But with this deck, because the cards are so powerful, and like Tribal Flame, Scion of Draco, even Brawler, you're able to win with, with 5-card hands. Because you only really need 1 or 2 threats. And if you can protect those threats, you're good. Alright, so we're just going to go here. Pass turn. So next turn, we're casting the Scion of Draco. And then from there, if we're able to untap it, they haven't played anything too crazy, we can pretty much fight whatever, pump our Draco, so we're going to go here, and that's going to require the Temple Garden. Alright, so the question is, can they kill us? And the reason I ask that is because, do we want to block here? Because most likely they can kill our Draco. But if they can't kill us, I'm not too familiar with this deck, if they can't kill us, then we should be able to fight and kill their Glistener Elf. And then we are in a good spot. And this is a multi-5 on the draw. Which traditionally any aggressive deck in that situation versus a fast deck like this, it would just be good night. Excuse me. So we have to block this, unfortunately. But if they tap out here, okay. A Wild Nacatl would be good right about now, but can we? No, yeah, Wild Nacatl would be. Would he? No. Wild Lightning Bolt is even better. All right. So we're just gonna go ahead and bolt. That thing's kind of a pain. Yep, and that does not do it, ladies and gentlemen. So they have one card in hand, so hopefully they can't kill us. Okay, not too bad. Okay. So I really can't do anything. Come on, give us something good. So, what we're going to do here is hope that we don't die. Trying to see if Dromoka's command does anything here. Okay, I mean, if they don't have anything and we draw a... They have something, of course. But if we would have drawn like a Tribal Flames, we could have got there. Draw a card. Nope. Alright, so begin sideboard. Dromoka's command seems slow, but I don't think there's anything else. I mean, Flusterstorm might be good. No. Maybe this. Let's try this. So although we mulled to 5 and we were on the draw, I mean, we almost got there. Teferi will be able to bounce their creatures and keep them from playing at instant speed, which can be good. Probably, I would assume it's better than Dromoka's command. I'm not 100% sure. Alright, so this is not a terrible hand, but it's not a good hand. No interaction. We have this, and then we have that. We're going to mulligan. Okay, we can play with this. We were going to ship back the forest. So, we're not going to go for the Tri-land here. We're going to go for the steam vents into Ragavan, and then we can go ahead and start deploying these brawlers unless we draw other things, and then, you know, Tribal Flame can pretty much clear out the way for any problem creatures that we may encounter. Hopefully this Ragavan can give us a lot of value to the point where we can just ride it to victory. So also I want to add that so far, based on the mulligans, the deck mulligans really well. I'm surprised this deck runs as well as it does for 5 colors. But I mean, that's just the state of where the game is now, right? We just have so many different forms of mana, and the cards are so powerful. Great time to be alive. Alright, so Lightning Bolt, that is great. So, go ahead and do this. Represent Remand. Even though we don't have it. They don't know that. Nothing good. We'll just go ahead and shut our Brawler here. And this, you know, these are situations where you can tell where Stubborn Denial is just brutal. Because if we had Stubborn Denial up, I mean, they're pretty much can't play anything relevant. I mean, a creature, but we got bolts. So I think we should be able to ride this hand to victory. Based on what I've seen, what we've seen in the last couple of games, I haven't seen anything that can probably stop this, but I could be wrong. So we're going to bolt that. Yes, we could have maybe played that Noble that they had, but I don't think that really does anything. I mean, it provides a blocker if he plays a fight direction, but if he taps out to that, we attack with everything. He can block here, or he can block here. Take 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think we're good from here. This deck, you know, when this deck is on the play and has a decent hand, it's very hard to beat, especially against other creature decks, because you have so much removal and your creatures hit so hard. And this Brawler card is actually really good. I remember when I was looking at lists, I was like, I wonder why they don't play Tarmogoyf, but I see why the Brawler is so good. Okay, there he is. The Crusader. Alright. We're just going to get in with everything here. This is not a traditional Infect deck. Like I said, I haven't played Magic in like a year and a half, so I'm not sure if this is the new version of Infect or maybe this is a brew. I have to assume it's a brew. Alright. Don't have the Force of Negation. I'm just kidding. Alright, so we got there. Let's see what we would have drawn. Wild Nacatl, another Scion. Alright, well there you have it against black and green Infect. We got there. Any things here that I would change? So far in the last couple games, Dromoka Command would have been good against Blood Moon. So definitely a card that I can see why we want to keep it in there, especially since we can fetch out a forest and a plains. Windswept Heath helps us with that, so that's good. The mana base so far feels great. I haven't experienced any issues yet where I couldn't cast double of my spells. So I have to assume that this mana base so far that we have going on here is pretty solid unless we change things in the main deck. Like if we remove the Remands and add more Dromoka's commands, then we want to play the other Triome lands that rather than give us like red and green, will give us green and white. But so far the main deck seems solid. I'm really liking it. As far as sideboard, I'm not 100% sure. I got to play a lot more games. Again, we're just playing sideboard cards that most, like 70% of these decks are playing based on the configuration that we're playing. Jegantha's been decent. Not sure if like that's the card that we want. But I don't know. I mean, it's a 5-color deck, so I have to imagine that there's endless possibilities for the sideboard. So who really knows, right? But the sideboard is something we're going to keep an eye on. But all the cards in the sideboard seem pretty solid. Again, I haven't played this deck long enough to really have a good grasp on it, on what we want here and what we want in the main. But so far, again, the main looks solid. If you guys have any input, please comment at the bottom. Please let me know. Anyways, that concludes game number 2. I hope you enjoyed these videos, guys. And take care, and thank you for watching.